Hey, everyone. Welcome back to linguamagic.
If you're new here, I'm really glad you're joining us today.
In this video, we're going to learn some really useful financial vocabulary in English, words you'll actually hear and use in real life.
Here's how it's going to work. First, I'll play a short story, audio only, no subtitles or text. This will help you practice your listening skills naturally. Then we'll go through the important words together. I'll explain what they mean, how to use them, and give you examples. And finally, we'll listen to the story again, but this time, you'll see the full text on screen so you can follow along and understand everything more clearly.
This method is super effective because it trains your ears and your brain. You learn vocabulary in context, not just by memorizing. It also helps you become more confident with real English, the kind people actually speak.
So grab your notebook, relax, and let's jump into it.
Expanded financial story. After getting his first full-time job, Mark decided to take control of his income. He created a monthly budget to manage his expenses, like rent, food, and transportation. He made sure to set aside part of his money for savings, just in case of emergencies. Over time, he began to collect useful assets, a laptop for work, a reliable car, and even some tools for freelance jobs. Mark was also curious about investments, so he started reading about the stock market. He invested a small amount, hoping to earn a good profit in the future. But he understood the risks, that there was always a chance of making a loss instead. That's why he avoided taking on too much debt, and when he needed a loan, he chose one with a low interest rate to save money. Little by little, Mark was building a stronger financial future by making smart decisions.
Let's begin our little lesson on financial vocabulary. All right, the first word is
Income.
Now, income is a really common word in financial English. It simply means the money that you receive, usually on a regular basis, for example, from your job, from a business, or even from investments.
So, in very simple words, income equals the money that comes into you. We have some synonyms for this word, other words that mean something similar.
For example, earnings, salary, wages, or even revenue if we're talking about a company. Now, what about the opposite of income?
That would be things like expense, loss. Because income means money coming in, and expense or loss means money going out.
Let me give you a sentence. She earns a good income as a graphic designer. Here are a few more examples. His monthly income is enough to cover rent and bills. I want to increase my income by starting a side business. Many people rely on rental income after retirement.
Next up is
Investment.
all right, this one is a key word in finance. An investment is when you put your money into something like stocks, real estate, or a business because you expect it will grow in value. You're hoping to make a profit later.
Simple definition. Investment equals spending money now to make more money in the future.
Some similar words are funding, capital, asset allocation that's more advanced.
And what's the opposite? Well, you could say spending when you don't expect a return, or loss.
Example sentence. Buying property is considered a long-term investment.
A few more examples.
He made a smart investment in technology stocks.
Not all investments are safe, some are risky.
Education is also a kind of investment in your future.
Now let's talk about profit.
This one is nice and easy. Profit means the money you make after paying all your costs. So if you sell something for $100 and it cost you $60, then your profit is $40. Profit equals what you keep after expenses.
Some words that mean the same or similar. Gain, return, earnings.
And the opposite? Loss. That's when you actually lose money instead of making it.
Example sentence. The company made a big profit this year.
More examples. She sold her handmade jewelry at a nice profit.
If your expenses are too high, you won't make a profit.
They hope to turn a profit by the end of the year.
Next word.
Loss.
A loss happens when you spend more money than you make. So if your business earns $1,000 but spends $1,200, your loss is $200. Loss equals negative money, the opposite of profit.
Synonyms include deficit, shortfall.
Opposites? Profit, gain.
Here's a sentence for you. The startup had to shut down due to heavy losses.
More examples.
He sold his shares at a loss after the market dropped.
Every business faces some losses at the beginning.
They're trying to recover from last year's financial loss.
Continuing our lesson on financial vocabulary.
Let's move on to the fifth word.
Budget.
All right, budget is a very useful word, both in personal finance and in business. A budget is basically a plan for your money. It tells you how much you can spend and where your money should go. So if you earn $1,000 a month and you decide to spend $400 on rent, $200 on food, $100 on transportation, that's your budget. Budget equals a plan for how much money you will spend. Synonyms: words with similar meaning. Spending plan, financial plan.
Opposites might include overspending, waste. Here's a sentence. We created a budget to help us save for a vacation.
More examples.
She always sticks to her budget, even when shopping.
The project went over budget by $10,000.
Making a budget helped him understand his spending habits.
Now let's talk about
Expense. An expense is just money that you spend. So rent, bills, groceries, gas, all of these are expenses.
expense equals anything you have to pay for.
Synonyms include
Cost, charge, spending.
And the opposite is
Income, savings. Sentence example.
rent is usually the biggest monthly expense for most people.
More examples.
They reduce their expenses to save money for a car.
Travel expenses can add up quickly. The company is trying to cut unnecessary expenses.
Next up is
Asset.
this is an important one in both personal and business finance. An asset is something valuable that you own. It could be your car, your house, your laptop, your savings, anything that has value and can be sold or used to make money.
Asset equals something valuable you own.
Synonyms include
Property, possession, resource.
and the opposite is
Liability is something that costs you money. Debt. Example sentence.
her apartment is her most valuable asset. More examples. The company owns many assets, including buildings and vehicles.
A good education can also be an important personal asset.
They listed all their assets before applying for a loan.
Now, let's talk about
Debt. This one is super important and also something people often fear.
debt is money you owe to someone else.
So if you borrow money from a friend, the bank, or use a credit card, you're in debt until you pay it back.
Debt equals money you owe. Synonyms.
loan, obligation, liability. The opposite could be
credit, surplus, or even asset.
here's a sentence. He has a lot of student debt to pay off.
More examples. Credit card debt can grow very quickly if you're not careful. She worked 2 jobs to get out of debt.
The government is trying to reduce national debt.
The next word is
Savings.
all right. Savings means money you keep and don't spend.
It's the money you put aside in a bank account or maybe under your mattress for future needs.
Savings equals money you keep for later.
Synonyms.
Funds, reserves, nest egg informal term for retirement savings.
Opposites.
Spending, debt.
Sentence example.
She used her savings to start a small business.
More examples. Having emergency savings can really help during hard times.
They save 20% of their income each month.
He opened a savings account for his daughter. And finally, let's talk about
Interest.
this is a tricky word because it has more than one meaning, but in finance, interest usually means extra money that you earn when you save, or extra money that you pay when you borrow.
So if you put $1,000 in the bank and the bank gives you 5% interest, you'll earn $50 extra. Interest equals the cost of borrowing money or the reward for saving it.
Synonyms.
Return when you're earning it. Charge or fee when you're paying it.
Opposites.
You could say the opposite is no interest or just the principal the original amount of money with no extra added.
Sentence example. This loan has a 6% interest rate.
More examples.
You can earn more interest by saving in a high-yield account.
The interest on my student loan is very high.
Compound interest means you earn interest on your interest.
Expanded financial story. After getting his first full-time job, Mark decided to take control of his income. He created a monthly budget to manage his expenses, like rent, food, and transportation. He made sure to set aside part of his money for savings, just in case of emergencies. Over time, he began to collect useful assets, a laptop for work, a reliable car, and even some tools for freelance jobs. Mark was also curious about investments, so he started reading about the stock market. He invested a small amount, hoping to earn a good profit in the future. But he understood the risks, that there was always a chance of making a loss instead. That's why he avoided taking on too much debt, and when he needed a loan, he chose one with a low interest rate to save money. Little by little, Mark was building a stronger financial future by making smart decisions. And that's it for today's lesson. We learned 10 powerful financial words, heard them in context, and practiced using them in a real-life story.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new lesson from linguamagic.
Got a favorite word from today's video? Or maybe you've used one of them in your own sentence. Drop it in the comments. I'd love to see how you're using your English in real life. And remember, the best way to learn vocabulary is not just to memorize it, but to see it, hear it, and use it.
Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep learning, stay curious, and keep the magic of language alive.
This is linguamagic, where English isn't just learned. It's felt.
See you next time.